Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Suikoden 2 walkthrough. Alright, so we are just about to take on our first... Again, I actually don't remember what these things are called, like what, war skirmish or something like that. And I actually wanted to include this footage because it is me being incredibly unlucky. So you'll see that actually in a little bit. So unfortunately, there is some redundant footage here right away, just because again the this battle went incredibly bad. So I was extremely glad that I had saved my game right before this, because originally I was thinking, oh, what's the worst that could happen? Well, you're about to find out. So, normally these are pretty easy. Unfortunately, this first time, your units just are, basically uncontrollable, other than the hero's unit. So, which is named Dragon Company in my case. I don't know why I picked. I think I've picked Dragon as like the castle name in the original or in Suikoden 1. And so I figured I'd just keep up with that. All right, so usually here, Victor always moves one spot forward and then uses the fire spears. Now, Sai here, this is where it goes. Oh, that looks okay. I wonder if you know what? I bet this isn't actually going to be my old footage of me losing. Yeah, actually it can't be. So, that's actually unfortunate. I wanted to show you guys how badly this can go. But, again, this actually is the correct footage here. So I think I must have just deleted the time it went really bad. Anyways, what actually happened there was the original time I actually took this footage, when Sai attacked there, he got wrecked and basically didn't do any damage to the cavalry, and he took damage there. So he ended up... If you notice here, every time an enemy unit takes damage, there's a little sword that goes into them. And that works the same way for your characters. The problem is, anytime they take like 2 swords, they just kind of retreat from battle. And I don't remember now if any units ever can take like 3 hits of damage, or if everybody just blows up at 2. I don't remember. So anyways, like I said, the original battle there, I think I did, Sai attacked, he didn't do any damage, and then the next turn, one of the enemy units attacked him, and then he took another, bit of damage, and ended up dying, actually. So, there are, you can actually, unfortunately, lose, like, literally completely lose troops in these battles. Meaning, they die and they're just not usable from the rest of the game. So I guess keep that in mind. But that was about as good as it can get. It was literally night and day between my two, my original fight and then the second time here. So anyway, all right. So we've got the first part is done, and Highland soldiers are attacking again, so... Alright, that Luca's full of surprises. That he is. Alright, so right now, again, it's a sort of a decent idea to save one more time, I think. And again, that first battle went really well, so I thought, yeah, why not? Let's save just in case. I've played the game before, so I kind of know somewhat what to expect, but at the same time, I am pretty rusty, so I always think that, in cases like that, it's always a decent idea to save a bunch. And I think this next battle is just not winnable. I think, anyway. I don't know if I could have done anything to actually, I guess to change the outcome at all. Basically, what happens is, yeah, wow, that's a lot of troops already. So anytime one of the enemy troops sets foot within the wooden barrier, it's an automatic loss. And yeah, even Victor says nobody leave the fort. And what looks at what actually ends up happening here is there's an ambush that comes from the southwest, and the troops will just move right in, and again, that's basically the end of it. I kind of wish I would have at least like just moved maybe south, and maybe seen if they would attack my unit instead of just moving inside the wooden fence area. But that's unfortunately not what happened. So, anyways, all right. So same with actually. Yeah, I think the three other troops are just controlled by the computer or AI or whatever, and you can only control your own unit. Again, much like the first battle there. So here, Victor, it looks like he's moving outside to attack with the fire spear, which is actually fine. The fire spears aren't working anymore? What? Okay, if you say so, buddy. Here I just moved over. Again, now, there wasn't really any reason to do that. Again, I think I wish I would have just moved down closer to the enemy. Although, who knows, that could have been bad, and somebody could have got wrecked. But there it is. As soon as that first enemy troop sets foot inside the fort there, it's over. So that is our defeat, unfortunately. Alright, so this is kind of the aftermath. It looks like, obviously, some of the mercenary troops are defeated here. Joey, excuse me, says that we need to rescue Pilika, so that is what we will do. Pilika is inside the fort and upstairs. I vaguely remember trying to get into fights with these soldiers, but I actually don't remember if they drop anything good. I mean, and unfortunately, I didn't get anything, so... but, I don't know if that necessarily means that they don't actually drop anything, or if I, again, just wasn't lucky, but... anyways... I was thinking possibly the Lancer may have dropped a Hazy Rune, but again, I don't even know if that's the case. They might just not drop anything at this point in the game. But alright, so anyways, we're just going to use the buddy attack here to wipe out these groups. And obviously, with the Berserk runes there, we're doing a ton of extra damage. So there's a couple of fights there. I think the downstairs is completely empty. Other than you can talk to Victor and Flick. Hurry and get away. Alright. Yeah, this is empty back here too. This is blocked off, and there's nothing down there, so yeah, I just went all the way down there to see if there was actually anything in there, which obviously there is not. And okay, so we get attacked one more time when we try to go up the steps here. One thing I kind of don't get is, like, where is everybody? Where's Nanami? Where is Humphrey? I think I had Humphrey in my group. And I think a couple others too, but I guess for storyline reasons it kind of makes sense, and especially the events that are about to happen. Again, it sort of makes sense. And then unfortunately here, I think at a certain point, your party from here on out will be kind of randomly determined. I think Nanami is always going to be with us, but I think the last, what'll it be, three characters are randomly chosen between all of the characters that you have recruited. So, okay. All right, so let's head into Victor and Link's room here. Now, for whatever reason, I actually thought that Pole was one of the Stars of Destiny, and I don't think she actually is, because she dies here. I think, or at least I think she does. I don't think that you see her for the rest of the game. Again, if I'm remembering correctly. And then, I don't know why you've got the option to save Pilico or not. But, I mean, obviously we're going to try to save her. Teamwork! Strong men take everything and the weak men die. That's how the world's designed. Okay, buddy. So this is kind of what I was referring to in a couple of videos back, where originally in Pilica's hometown, she actually sees her parents die, basically, and I wouldn't say it like I wouldn't say that it doesn't affect her, but for some reason, this scene here apparently affects her much more. And again, I don't really know why that's the case. It doesn't seem like it makes that much sense. Maybe it's just that Luca is such a monster. I don't know. But apparently he traumatizes Pilica, again, so much that even her own parents dying in front of her didn't affect her as much as this scene did. So, interesting, I guess. Or weird, or poorly written. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm missing something. That's possible, too. It could be me. But I like the little scene there of kind of running away from the fort and seeing it on flames, or kind of go down in flames. It's kind of a neat scene. But right here is where, again, you randomly get, 3 of your recruited characters from this point. So it looks like I got fairly lucky. I mean, Humphrey is a big win, and then Zamza's not too bad. Kinnison, is not that great, but it could have been worse, I guess. It could have been like Millie, because I think Millie's pretty terrible, but anyways, alright, so let's head to, it looks like to Muse City, and we need to meet up with Victor and Flick. So, from this point, we'll head up to Toto, I think it is. Shadow Dogs, so these ones are the enemies that can potentially drop the Hazy Rune. I think I've mentioned that before. I'm not a big fan, actually, of that rune. And then here, it looks like I've actually got to swap up my formation because 2 of my short-range characters are in the back row and not doing anything. So I have to get them swapped up to the front. Alright. So, let's get Zamza up front and Humphrey. And that looks good. Okay. Nami doing work. Man, I wish she had a third rune slot. Oh well. Okay. So here we are back in Toto. Now, this is actually going to be a pretty cool event here coming up where we'll have to go to this. There's like a cave up here in the top right-hand corner. Not really sure why she comes in here. Kind of interesting, I guess. But shrine. Okay, so apparently Pilica's father was in charge of this shrine here. Okay, that's kind of interesting. All right, so it looks like Genkaku or whatever his name is was one of the or what had a friend here whose name was Han. It looked like, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see exactly what's going on here. Kind of interesting though. This is Leknat. Follow the path of fate, heralds who summon the stars of destiny. Go forward. Okay. Yeah, sure seems that way. All right, so Joey and the main character are obviously teleported in here, farther into the cave. For what reason we do not know quite yet, but we're about to find out. Am I looking for power? I mean, sort of, right? We need to take down Luca, and he, I mean, would have wrecked us. So here's some pretty cool scenes from the past, it seems, that really kind of expand on Joey and the main character's friendship. And it's actually pretty important, too. You know, it's already kind of obvious, but I think these scenes really kind of flesh out their relationship a little bit more. Adopted kid and coward son. Your daddy's dojo is a dump. Wow, okay. You can take me on, alright. Yeah, so obviously best friends. And they get their butts whooped. But yeah, so anyways, their relationship, being that they're so close, is actually really important for basically both of the characters are going to obtain runes here. And I forget the name of this rune, but apparently it's split up into two. One is like, I think it's called the Black Sword rune, and that's the one that Joey gets. And then there's the Bright Shield rune that the main character gets. And, you know, I think it's important to know how close these two were. Just because that's part of, I think, obtaining the power of that rune. And likewise, Han and Genkaku were friends. I mean, I assume as good of friends as these two were. And it looks like they were the ones that had these runes before the main character and Joey. Now, I think this is Jillia. I think. Blight. And obviously, being that she is, well, I guess she's the princess, I think. She has guards as well as a wall, you know, surrounding her. And so the boys, you know, up to their mischief, wanted to look over the wall. Alright, so here's the tree that we obtained Muku Muku from. Maybe they buried something for him there. Secret between boys. Bleh. Okay, here we obviously fast forward to when they are part of the Unicorn Brigade. Kind of interesting here that Nanami's spying on them. It's kind of interesting. There are actually quite a few moments in the game where they refer to, especially Victor refers to Nanami as a tomboy. And it does look like, I mean, she wanted to, she definitely wanted to be close to, or, you know, active in Joey and the main character's lives. And I mean, that scene right there where she's kind of even watching them, as they are part of the Unicorn Brigade is kind of interesting. There's, I think, an assumption there that because she's a girl, she can't be a part of it. So, anyways. And here's the rescue. Or attempted rescue, right? And so this actually, this little scene here actually really kind of reminds me of when Joey and the hero are in I think they're in Muse, right? And or is it actually? It might have been the mercenary force. I can't remember exactly where they were at, but Joey is saying, I don't know who to trust, basically, because the country kind of betrayed them, but the main hero, obviously does say, you can trust me. So, again, I think that kind of speaks to their relationship, kind of where everything else is kind of failing. They kind of are able to still trust each other. Okay, here's the kind of start of the destiny. 127 true runes recognized you. Kind of interesting, actually. So the Rune of Beginning, like I had mentioned earlier, is actually a 2-part rune. Sort of strange. I don't really know why that's the case. I don't know why it couldn't have been 2. Maybe that does... I guess it does kind of speak a little bit more to, how they're intertwined. So I guess actually that kind of makes sense. Makes more sense and kind of is better writing, I would say. So here our option, I think you have to choose... that we need power. And sometimes I wish that we could have gone to that right path instead, but the Bright Shield rune is actually pretty good. So the Black Sword rune here that Joey gets is much more offense oriented, whereas the Bright Shield rune is, I think it's kind of half and half, where I think 2 of the spells are strictly healing spells. 1 spell is strictly offense. And then I think the final spell might be both. It might deal damage and heal allies, I think. Don't quote me on that because I actually just don't remember what the final spell actually does. But unfortunately, though, this does take up our right hand slot now. So be careful, boy, and I should have mentioned this a little bit earlier. Make sure that you don't have a full inventory. Just because I don't actually know what happens to your runes if you have a full inventory. I'm not sure if it'll prompt you to throw something away. But here in my case, it just kicked my double beat runes back into my inventory. Because I think I had those on... Actually, I'm not sure. Not sure where that... I think the runes end up on our right hands, right? I think, anyway. And then, of course, I didn't actually, or wasn't watching when I clicked on that strength, because that'll, obviously it'll tell you right where that rune is now equipped, but I don't know how important that really is, but anyways. Alright, so let's get moving, and now we've got our runes, and again, for better or worse, it is what it is. I'm a huge fan again of the 3 empty slot characters. So unfortunately we went from the main character and Joey having 3 open spots down to 2 spots apiece. So it's probably worth it at the end of the day. Honestly, the runes are incredibly powerful, and yeah, I guess it is what it is. All right, so. This is was this the White Deer Inn? And there actually isn't anything that we can do here quite yet. We actually will end up coming almost immediately back here because we can't actually get into Muse. So we'll have to do a little side quest before we can actually get back in. And yeah, so here's the gate is now closed. So there's a little bit of an interesting kind of intertwinement here with the state soldiers and Victor. Victor is a mercenary. Now, I don't know where he, or I don't know what, like, if he's from Highland, if he's from the state, city or city-state, whatever. So I don't really know where his actual allegiances lie. Again, well, I shouldn't say that. He is essentially, I think, a state or city-state citizen, because he's got some strong ties to, for sure, the leadership of Muse. I don't know how really what else or how else he's, or how, I should say where else his or what other relationships he has there. I'll put it that way. And again, that will actually be explained here pretty soon, probably in the next video. But it's interesting that he can kind of get around as well. Like, why do we need an entry permit? So I guess that assumes that he's got one. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I guess it's just a way to kind of keep us out of Muse and kind of force us into this side quest, but. Whatever. It is what it is. But, alright, so this is Alex and Hilda. Obviously, Hilda we had already kind of met. And they run this, the White Deer Inn. And it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And it sounds like, from this, or from some of the dialogue here that we'll get from Alex, that they weren't actually able to open an inn inside Muse, and so they had to, kind of open this one out here, which, what they say, location is everything. So, I don't think that this inn does all that well, which is kind of what drives Alex to kind of get into this treasure hunting business. And, we're actually going to end up helping him explore the Sindar ruins, which are coming right up here. And, alright, so I guess it's time to get up. And the boys tend to like to sleep in, it looks like. Alright, so Pilika takes it upon herself to get Joey out of bed. Okay, and then everybody else joins us. Alright. So, from this point, I'm going to save my game. And then, I think, yep, Alex comes running in here. There's a couple of merchants here too that I'll actually just chat with here after the Alex dialogue. I don't remember them having anything decent, but there actually is a rune master, I think, so we'll be able to kind of switch up our runes. And I think the idea was to put. I definitely want to keep the Fury runes on the main character and Joey. But I think they have killer runes attached instead of the double beats, and I think the double beat runes will actually be better than those killer runes. So I'll probably swap those out, and then I think Kinnison needs. Actually, I don't think he has anything, so I'll probably slap something on him. But here again, now Alex apparently couldn't get anybody from Muse to help him out, which then gives Nanami the idea, oh, hey, well, if he went around Muse asking, well, then he's got an entry permit. So we strike up a deal here where we'll go help him, explore the runes, and he will give us the entry permit. So, yeah, kind of a good little deal. But anyways, all right, I am out of time. So as always, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.